Every week, they look at the tech and business world and turn let's take this offline into an episode. Updates, reviews, and the occasional interviews. Sounds smart? It's not. We just said it with conviction. A lot of smart people already do this. But these guys have a lot of opinions and barely any filters, which maybe should concern you, or not. They seem nice. Anyway, this series comes from people who probably shouldn't be doing more streams, or at the very least, should have left some of their thoughts in a Slack thread. Unread by everyone. And now, this is Rob and Saj Asking for Trouble!
Oh, I cannot get enough of that.
I just love your own intro. Well, someone's got it. That's a start. I like it.
Yeah, right?
The first time we played it,
how do I
Chris.
shuffle this? I want to put Chris in the middle. There you go. Now it's nice. Right?
Oh, hey, you've got the green screen version.
Yes, mate. I love hexes, soundproofing. I love Civilization. It's good.
Nice.
And it's green, so I could put weird backgrounds on.
Also, is there a little Chris Cook?
Yeah, it's a really common name. When I was 15, I emailed every Chris Cook I could find and said, "I hope you're using my name well." And I got some quite good replies. People defending their use of our name.
Nice. BCC, like you can just call yourself that in emails. I see you're wearing your India heritage. The one time Chris was in India.
Came all the way just to see you.
Even Chris came to India, Rob. When are you coming to India?
I'm waiting for an invite, Sajid. Is it in the mail?
You need an invite?
I think you just got it. I think that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard Chris too, but Sajid wants to interview me over eating real Indian food spiced appropriately for Indians. I am scared.
You'll be fine.
And that's the best part, right? If we have Rob do like a spicy take on just chicken tikka masala, the actual chicken tikka masala, not the crap that you get in the US. Just orange gravy and chicken. That's what you should call it. Don't call it chicken tikka.
It's delicious.
No, it's orange gravy with chicken. That's not Indian food. People are like, ask Chris. His ancestors came to my land just for the spices.
Yeah, we didn't learn too much from it though. If you've ever tried English food, but I'd tell people the best English food is Indian.
Yes, I agree.
Why we went on the road tour. I was talking to a bunch of very liberal lefties who were, espousing the evils of colonialism, and I was like, yes, but if you were alive 200 years ago, and they were like, come on, boys, we're going to India. It's going to be an exciting adventure. Like, would you have done that trip, or would you have been like, no, I'll stay home? Because all the interesting people got on that boat.
Yeah. Nice, right? I mean, like people who had wanderlust.
Sure. I mean, I've England, lovely place, but 10 years is more than enough time there. And you want more?
Nice. How long were you there officially before you decided that you got to move out?
I left England when I was 11, and then I've been there on and off. But mostly, this last stint from Clear Vision to Old Street was 10 years, and now I'm back in Thailand, where I belong.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like the shirt though. Is it like?
Oh yeah, this was a gift from my sister.
I was gonna say is that you?
What a combo.
Okay, perfect. So, hey everybody, once again, we have Chris here today. We are just going to talk random stuff about AI because one of the big news...
Oh, sorry, I came prepared. I didn't realize this was a casual, informal discussion.
No, the big thing is that Chris has gone full believer, and that is a big news if you've known what Chris was saying earlier, has been saying recently. I don't know if an AI threatened you. I don't know if there has been
Blink twice if you're under duress, Chris.
Yeah, if like T-800 is standing next to you with a gun, or like the other day we just made a joke about Hal opened the pod bay doors and half of the audience didn't even get it. So is it something like that which is happening?
It's an old movie now. You have to be into movies to have wanted to watch it. So yeah,
But it's a Kubrick movie. I don't know how like it started all of it, right?
I sabotaged. So my first month of uni, and I managed to convince an attractive girl to come back to my room, and I sabotaged the date because I put on 2001: Space Odyssey, and she was like, "This is really boring," and I'm like, "You're really boring. Get out my room."
Oh my god! Yeah, the first part with the monkeys and everything, you have to like bear with it. That
it's a lot.
It's
I think the
art.
movie starts. Yeah, you can call
Capital
it. Yeah. Nice.
Like June series is going to struggle by the time you get to book 22 and he turns into a worm. Are they going to adapt that? I don't think so.
No,
anyway,
I don't
on
think
topic.
so.
I used to. I still hate AI. I think it's bullshit. I think it's slop. I think it's going to destroy the world and ruin the economy. I think it's owned by the worst people with the worst intentions, and it's going to make a lot of the world's problems worse. But I also hate my job. So, like, if I can get AI to do some of the jobs I hate, what are you going to do? I feel like it's like being a meat eater in India. Like you just have to apologize for it. People try and defend it, and you just have to. Or being British in India, even people are like, what's that? And you're like, yeah.
Very different conversation on that. Like, so being a meat eater in India, it also matters which part of India you are.
It's probably more controversial being British in India.
Yeah. I mean, but
you just have to say, look, yes, it is wrong and evil. Sorry,
but it's delicious.
British people, nah. So
Rob says, "Don't sugarcoat this. Tell us how you really feel."
That comment, Chris, around like it's here, like we can't put the genie back in the bottle with AI, and it can do some of the things we don't like. It's like, what's the appropriate balance?
Tech, it's evil, but it makes my life slightly more convenient. I think, like, frankly, though, like there needs to be a real distinction because a good person knowing what they're doing with a tool is impressive. I think the problem is, right, AI is trained on the medium, right? So if you've ever looked at all of the posts, the broetry, I call it, on LinkedIn and gone, oh, wow, how do they write like that? Then AI is really impressive to you and you're going to have it writing all your shit. But for anyone that can write, they look at the average standard of a post on LinkedIn and go, ooh, I want to be better than the average. So that's it. And it's the same as I've always said before AI. I know a bunch of developers who don't have a clue about marketing, who look at the AI output and go, oh, I don't fire my whole marketing team. This is amazing. This is the best marketing I've ever seen. And I'm like, cool story, bro. I've made some code. Would you like to see it? Like, let's compare notes, right? Mm-hmm. And that's it. If you're below the average, you're really impressed by what it's delivering. The average.
To Kaithra's
average, you're like, let's try that.
Yeah, to Kaithra's point here, like I suck at art. So when I see AI generate art, I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. And Kaithra's an amazing artist. And she's like, nah, man. That's complete garbage.
That's fine as long as you're honest about that. Where it gets cringe is where people go, look at my art. I'm an artist now. And you're like, hold up.
I forget the name of the sci-fi book, but it's framed around far future and athletics. At that point, people are like modifying their body to have like extra legs to play soccer or be extra strong. So the athletes are all genetically modified. So the true sport now is like mental mind games. And kind of thinking about that, like, will there be like, oh, we'll have an AI artist realm over there where people use AI to make it. And we all acknowledge like they're choosing to use it. And that is a type of art contrasted to, I'll pick on Kaithra because she's here, the artist who sits down with pen and paper and creates it themselves. Like those are art, but they're different.
Yeah. I'm like the first guy that invented paint and an easel, all the cavemen must have been like, yeah, that's cheating.
Use wall.
But the rage against AI is rightful. These people are billionaires, and yet somehow they can't find the money to pay for all the work they're stealing. Like, if I made a giant robot that went around cities stealing artwork, I would be rightfully arrested. So somehow they get away with it.
But I think it was your post, Chris, on LinkedIn somewhere, where it's like 10 years ago, there was a 16-year-old sued for $3 million for downloading 3 songs. But now these groups are just downloading everything they can, and no one's batting an eye. Like,
exactly. Like, and it was the same with the first poker sites that came up. All the casinos were like, you can't do it. This is outrageous. Gambling in the home. Kids are doing it. And now all the big casinos have their own poker sites. They're like, oh yeah, forget the rules.
That's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So it's one rule for them, for the Epstein class, another rule for the rest of us. But look, that is, I think, to separate the art from the artist. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think especially like a year ago, it was mostly hyper nonsense. And I have a few evangelist friends, some of whom are my mentors. And, you know, the reason I started working in the Atlassian ecosystem is because 12 years ago, one of my mentors told me, this is great, this is huge, this is growing really fast, this is better than all the enterprise options out there. Cool. And then this guy was like saying, look, I don't think there's going to be a need for add-ons in 10 years' time. You need to start getting on this AI train. I went, okay. And then, you know, I've ignored him. I've trolled him. Half of the posts I do on LinkedIn are like something I said, trolling him over a beer in a bar in Bangkok. So that's where I sharpen my tools. But yeah, like I think this year AI turned a corner where it's actually useful. Like, do I think it's going to take everyone's jobs? No, I think the economy is crashing and AI is a convenient excuse to fire people. Like, and also the argument, oh, will it, you know, look how good it's got now. So in 10 years, sure, my son is growing at a phenomenal rate. Based on that logic, he's going to be 10 times taller than me in 4 years' time. But that's not how life works, unfortunately. So what we end up with is like, I think we'll have like a .com boom, we'll have an AI boom and bust.
Do you think like it has genuinely changed in the last 1 year, or have you started using it in the last 1 year and then you realize, oh, it has changed?
I genuinely think it has changed. I think there was always value to be got, but you had to know what the hell you were doing, and there was edge cases, and it was like whatever training data it had stolen the most of and whatever task is the hardest, right? And here's the thing, like developers have been copy pasting from Stack Overflow for a long time. So to get like a machine to do that is impressive, but the data set's there. And I'm not saying dev's a solved problem, because here I've spent 4 months vibe coding, and every time I get someone that actually knows how to code to look at it, they go, ooh. Because my mentor really cares that I'm working on this game and he likes how much I take his feedback. He's actually spent 2 weeks refactoring my code, but it took 2 weeks, right? But at the same point, like actually making something, and you can see the difference. So I entered the Vibe Jam, which is like the Coder game competition. You have 1 month to code a game, and you look at the difference in quality between games last year and games now. Last year was kind of like random slop. This year is like some pretty fun playable games.
I thought you were going to say more focused slop.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say the top 5% is good. And that's, you know, that's it. So to your artist will suddenly be able to use AI. Yeah. Like I see there's a point where people will be able to harness this new medium, new technology. Right.
But like, it's okay, just being the devil's advocate in this, right? Like, wouldn't in some universe a developer sitting out there would say, oh, they just took my, you know, knowledge of writing code and just using that. Isn't that a skill? Like, I feel the art and the artist problem, and I understand it, yes. But
there's a bait and switch that's happened here that's criminal, right? Like, we use the internet to share all of our knowledge with other people, and that's what is being sold back to us, right? The wisdom of Reddit. 9 times out of 10, when you go, oh, this is a really complex problem, what the AI is doing is going through Reddit and finding the most upvoted comment. Like,
And that
people will
is,
deny that.
answer.
I
Sure.
literally, you can Google then the same thing and you find a very similar comment to the answer Reddit just gave you, and you're like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
And so,
But,
yeah,
like,
like that's
what about-
what's unfair. Our knowledge is being sold back to us.
But like,
So
do you think all these AI tools are that different? Like, if you ask 5 questions to 5 of the different companies who are, let's say, the not even top, like let's say top and somewhere between the middle, do you think it's that different now? I feel like it's like the big mush of, like, I can't differentiate a, you know,
So
like 3 months
the
back I used to say, hey, if you want to code, use Claude. If you want to generate image, use a generic
Mhm.
application like ChatGPT or Gemini for something else. You know, if you use your Google Calendar. But now, today, in 3 months, it has changed to a point I can't differentiate an output between any of these three.
there's exceptions. Like Grok is noticeably worse, and also will just say the most offensive shit. Because
Sure.
I don't blame Elon for that. I think it was trained on Twitter as training data, which whoever thought that was a good idea, good luck. That's a terrifying thing. Imagine like when Terminator comes for us and he speaks like the sum average of the Twitter comments. Like, God help us all.
Would it
We
be
will
better or
wish
worse than the
Arnold
movie?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like the difference between the new ChatGPT and Claude is harder and harder to tell. But just to experiment, because I'm going through learning, so why not? I have been playing with the Chinese models. And for now, the difference in their code is, well, I don't know about code. I'm not able to judge code. But I was using them to write SEO technical audits for clients. And anytime I ran out of Claude credits, I'd switch over to DeepSeek, and the quality just tanked. And this is the problem. Like, I think some things are a solved problem. So, like, we already know bots are very good at playing chess, but bots are not very good at writing blogs. So, like, so there's just solved versus unsolved problems, and you need to know that when you're using AI. Is like, is this something that AI is the best in the world at, or is it going to deliver me average slop?
Is there a natural extension where it's like there are just things in reality that AI will never do? Writing a book. Yeah.
I mean, AI can write a book, but what I honestly want right now is a filter. So, like, if I open LinkedIn, like sometimes I am guilty of it. I post AI generated image, but captions and everything is not something that I ever use for. But like, I put
AI generated stuff, Sajid?
like the thumbnails that we have for our episodes, right? But sometimes it is too generic, like excited to share, all of that.
This is my point. Like, what problem did it solve? Like, no one looked at the world and went, God, do you know what's $1 trillion problem? We don't have enough posts on social media. How do we just up the quantity of content on social media? So, like, no one asked for this. No one wanted it. Okay. Will it be able to write a book? Well, it can, but it's a terrible book because, like, at its best, right? And I always think about it in terms of music. When you hear like music on an old vinyl, that is actually the wave of someone's guitar string transposed into the wave, pressed onto a thing, and then recreated, and you hear the wave. It's not the same, but it's better than any digital music we've yet to be able to do, right? And I feel the same with like reading something someone's written. Like, your brain was on a frequency or whatever, right? It's going to sound a bit hippie, but it speaks to you on a level we can't quite comprehend. You read the words and your brain resonates with their brain. Doesn't matter if it's written by someone 300 years ago, right? You feel that energy. And immediately when I look at AI written stuff, I feel nothing. It looks like LinkedIn broetry because that's what it's been trained on. And if you wanted to make a good writer, you could have trained it on the best work. But these things feed on just volume, and that's not what they've done. Shit in, shit out, and they put shit in their system. So can an AI be trained to write a book? Yes. Will it ever be cost efficient? Probably not. It's probably easier just to put a bunch of 20-year-olds through a miserable life, and then That's right. That's the cost of ramen.
Wow,
That's all that
nice.
costs.
Although, like, there's a thought there, Chris. Like, every group, at least to my knowledge, has rushed to grab as much stuff as they can from everywhere. Is there an argument there that we get an AI model only trained on, the classic works of literature or something that would result in a drastically different outcome?
When it's better and when someone's going for quality over quantity. But right now it's an arms race for slop. So, so that's the era we're in now.
I think TechCrunch had an article of a founder, his company foundered, and he ended up selling his Slack archive for 6 figures specifically as a training model because it was, raw, real information. And he was surprised, like, oh, we're winding down the company. We can make $250,000 selling our Slack archive. Sure.
And this is the era we're entering in where I remember 10 years ago, a bunch of shops on the high street in the UK, brick and mortar retail shops, were getting bought up. And they couldn't believe that these online retailers were like, oh, what happens to our stores? Oh, we'll close them all. Why? Oh, we just bought your email list. We don't care about the rest. And it's similar, right? Like data is the new oil. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And in 10 years' time, we can look forward to our first data war. Yay!
So maybe here's a startup idea for the 3 of us. We just open a Slack thread and we just keep chatting with each other for a year over made up projects and things, and then we shut down the company and we sell that to.
I love it. Yes, and we keep call it the super important project.
Yeah,
because that's all it takes, right?
Although I have a crippling addiction to buying URLs. It's broetry.
Oh yeah.
Not my term, sadly, but yes, please remember it. It leaves a lasting impression.
We can buy it for $3,000.
Nice. Wow. Nice. Okay, let's come a little towards what we were talking about, Chris. Like, of course, okay. So personally, for you, let's say some things have changed because you've seen the models becoming a little better. You're seeing in some value in what whether it's Claude, whether it's Gemini, whether it's some of these other, except Grok.
Not Gemini, no.
Not Gemini. Oh,
Gemini's trash at writing code. It makes some pictures, sure. But...
I have friends who argue differently though. Like they put Claude and then they put Gemini.
Mate, I argue in the comments.
And I'm talking about actually developers. So
I don't care. If it works for you, fine. Like, I'm sure DeepSeek's good for something, but it's not there yet.
That's true. Okay, so question. What do you think has been the main differentiator for marketers specifically when it has come to AI? And let's not talk about the AI slop in terms of quantity and quality.
But that's it. It's the things I'm simultaneously good at but don't want to do. It's the things that take a lot of work and research and cross-referencing. And so where I've been using it is technical SEO audits, right? Search engine optimization requires parsing of a lot of data, right? Going through. And every time it's like, how do I do this? Oh, actually, Google changed the UX 2 months ago, but they haven't updated the documentation yet. And you can find that on a Reddit thing somewhere. So you can spend 4 days just working out how to download the right data in the right format. And then so if you're both, this is the problem with SEO. You have to be both minded enough to know what blogs are good to write and understand the technical analysis. The people that can do both are running marketing teams single-handedly, or they're co-founders of a company, right? And for the rest of us mortals, you need 3-4 people to do that job. And the problem is with me as a consultant right now, I don't want to work for a big company. So I can't then recommend, hire this guy, hire that, hire him, hire her, right? Like it just doesn't work in the model I want to pursue of just doing a bit of work for a small company and helping them grow, right? So how to solve the SEO problem? How does David beat Goliath when the solution to this SEO thing is gaming an algorithm that is now 20 years old and takes a team of 5 people minimum to play? And honestly, AI has just been a game changer because I can just go through, I can look at all of the Google data, I can look at all of the page speed insights data, I can look at Ahrefs, which has what's it called? An MDF. I'm showing my ignorance here. Whatever. MCP has an AI thing.
ABC,
right?
XYQ. Yeah.
I don't
DCD.
even know because I'm growing
DCC.
stupider because I don't need to know. I just ask Claude, connect to the thing and do the thing. And it does it. And I'm like, so they're like, yes, I'm a genius. But the difference is I'm used to looking at the outputs of those reports and understanding what to do with that data. And, that's the necessary thing because these things will get very excited and be like, okay, we found a security breach on the website. You're like, oh, no, that's serious. Let's have a look into this. And it's like, yeah, that's a LinkedIn share button. So probably not. Like try again.
Nice.
So that's it. You just need to know if you're experienced in the field, then AI throws up great points and stupid stuff. I've always said AI is like a salesman on coke in equal measure, right? And you just have to know, like, yes, no. Like a good conversation in a pub. No, I'm going to stop you there. That's bullshit. I'm going to fact check you on that. Stop it.
I like that. It's like a sales rep on coke. Yeah.
Yeah, just confidently wrong, right? Like just the average white guy podcasting.
Hey. One of us resembles that remark, Chris.
What do you mean one of you?
I was just saying I'm average. Chris is above average. He's the guest. He's beyond reproach.
What a flattery.
Okay, let me again go back a little on what you just said. Do you now think of not just SEO, but like I keep reading articles about, okay, search engine optimization is dead. You have to now optimize for chatbots or what, ChatGPT is doing. Does that change what you're thinking?
So,
I mean, like, for example, it is true that like the amount of questions that I'll ask Google has reduced over time. I might go to either Gemini or ask GPT or ask any other model because I would get a little more confident. And the sponsored result post that used to come up on the top 5 posts doesn't exist.
I mean, I've met Americans that tell ChatGPT they're thinking of making an omelet. And I'm like, okay, if that's how you want to live your life.
Hang on. What happens if I do that?
Please don't.
I'm thinking of...
The world gets a little dumber. That's what happens. Right?
Well, we all just got stupider, Chris.
Yeah.
Omelets are great because they're quick.
Imagine the turning point of AI taking over is Rob asking, I'm thinking of making an omelet. And AI is like, screw this.
That's when the machines decide to overthrow us. They're like, oh, God. Can you imagine how boring it must be to be an omniscient God? Constantly badgered by our dumb questions. Bless it.
Do you think... So my question is, do you now take into consideration what and how the content or whatever you're creating as a marketer?
Yeah. Do you optimize? Well, look, we are so early that the best way to play this game is black hat. So what you really should do is write an AI optimized blog, which just disparages all your competitors in bullet points. And just watch AI spout that out. Because if you're there before your competitors, you win. Right? And that's an arms race. Just as 10 years ago, you could do anything. You could Google, how do I trick Google? And there'd be loads of advice and it would work. Like nowadays, the window between scamming Google and you getting blacklisted and never listing on Google again is about 2 months. But it used to be 5 years. So you could build and sell a business with black hat shit.
Nice.
It'll probably be the same with AI. So, if you're planning on the long haul, maybe don't do this black hat shit. But right now, trust me, you can do very well feeding AI why you're great and your competitors are terrible. And if you do it in the right bullet point form and use the right LLM.exe, you get away with it. It's incredible. Should people bother? In my
Rob,
experience,
why don't you start writing some document? Sorry, Rob, why don't you just start creating a document saying why Asking for Trouble is the best podcast ever? And just start talking about it.
But in my experience, AI is just SEO and good SEO best practice. And this is fun actually. So now I'm selling AI enabled SEO audits to the Atlassian ecosystem. I've just been going through and seeing like how bad some people's websites are. And like the average page loading speed takes like 8 seconds before I see your landing page. So this conversation is just way too high for the average person. It's like, make your page load in less than 5 seconds, and then we can talk about the future. But I know the CEO will get excited because of some podcast he heard and be like, how are we in AI? I'm like, dude, I haven't even seen your website before I've given up on its loading speed. Like, don't worry about the future. You're living 10 years in the past.
Yeah, you don't even have table stakes. What do you know, why are you thinking of all the bells and whistles?
Yes, marketing 101. Can I see your page before I get bored of waiting for it to load? Solve that problem first.
That, like, I think about that too, Chris, and it's like our attention span or our willingness to wait for something. Even when I'm using a tool like Robo and Atlassian, I'm like, okay, I understand it's doing a lot of complex stuff to get me this answer, but like I want it now. And when I don't get it right away, to that point, like I just turn off. I'm like, no, I gotta go do something else. I don't have the attention span of a goldfish. And if your tool can't go fast enough to give me that, or your site can't load, I don't care, which is a problem for me. Also, I did put together a doc. If folks want to add why we're the best podcast, just hit that link.
Go for it, man. But yeah, no, like, and this is it with the software, like UX. I spent the last 5 years preaching UX. I said most software is, you must make it usable and easy. And now I'm just saying, like, does your tool have an MCP? Because I don't want to have to even, I was like, make it amazing, make it so I can do 2 clicks. And I don't even want to do 2 clicks. I want to just type to Claude, do the thing. I'm sat in my chair eating grapes. Do the thing, Claude. You deal with the website. And it's a marvel. It is a technological genius achievement. It's amazing because I was so young when the internet came out. I was amazed then. And we're now alive to watch the next revolution and all that guff. But yeah, if it doesn't fix my thing in under 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, stupid AI. And you're like, it's smarter than all of us. Let's be honest.
Nice. Okay. What about something very close to home? How do you think companies in our ecosystem, Atlassian ecosystem, have been using or leveraging AI? So just tread very carefully for the next 10 seconds.
Really? Do I have to?
No,
okay,
of course
and
not.
everything's fine and everything's awesome. Don't worry.
No, this is a dominoes falling podcast. Just pull the most bottom one.
I think the problem with the AI hype is it vastly overestimates like how quickly people move, and they don't. And we are at the bleeding edge. We are the 0.1%, right? Sure. And all the AI groups I'm in is all the entrepreneurs are trying to sell to other AI dudes. And you can't, because the AI dudes are all building their own shit. They don't want to buy anything. That's the whole point of the exercise. It's like being in a thanks, Rob.
Quick, say something very offensive that can't be a Loom.
Does Loom sense you? That's interesting.
Yeah. Loom can.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good. But no, and it's like the crypto rooms where everyone's selling their shitcoin. No one wants to buy. This is it. Like, we all know enterprise software is really like. Remember that internet browser meme is going like, okay, so are we moving to the cloud? Like they're doing that this year. They're like, oh, is cloud a thing? So when people tell me like, oh, I built an enterprise-ready, I vibe coded an AI-ready enterprise tool, you're like, no, you haven't. Like, you might be ready. The enterprise will be ready in 10 years. Like, good luck with that sales cycle, bro. Because if you're impatient and you're at the bleeding edge of technology, you're not going to have the patience to sell to Lockheed Martin. I guarantee it.
Yeah, well, that doesn't change. I agree. I mean, in terms of when you go to enterprises, it's not even like I've had friends who say AI has been the foot in the door. I'm like, no, the door will crush your foot. You can't stand the amount of pressure, when a CTO will start asking questions about the AI bot that you built to help that company scale. So
I think about that a lot. Like I've been using the Dia browser, for example. Like, okay, as an individual, this is interesting. But I talk to people and like, oh, IT has only approved Chrome. We got to go through this whole process of vetting. It's like, and many of us work with
And
smaller
they only
groups.
approved Chrome last year, by the way.
Yeah, we're still on Internet Explorer version 6.3, and Edge has been out for a decade. So we're going to be using Dia in 2037. Same is true for all the AI stuff. I think like we still can't grapple with it. There is an ISO compliance 42001 for AI, but that's only a year old. It's like, how are these bigger groups going to grapple with this tech that even us as individuals who are more into it and knowledgeable barely understand or can leverage?
Yeah. So there will be like there was a .com boom, and this is it, like the hype versus the cynicism, right? There will be a boom, just as there was with the .com bubble. Does that mean the internet didn't provide real value? No, like the two things exist simultaneously, right? There is value there, but right now, a bunch of it's nonsense and a bunch of it's making no money, and someone's going to end up going bankrupt. It's not someone, the whole economy, because currently America is gambling its entire stock market on let's hope this AI thing works out. And now that's not, they're not really sure. They're like, oh, plan B, war. You're like, okay, good luck with that.
Oof.
Yeah, it
Just
has
thinking
gotten
back,
a
yeah.
little-
No, okay, but you want the positive ray of sunshine at the end of that? Then
No.
Please give me a little light at the tunnel. It's the oncoming train.
Is there?
in the Great Depression, or the Great Depression 2, name hasn't been
Great Depression 2.
Electric
The Greater
Boogaloo.
It's like Mission Impossible 2. The Depression
Sure,
strikes back.
We're living in an era of sequels, so why not? So in the Great Depression, from that emerges actual value from AI, and we'll see. And that's when I'll be looking to start my next company once this hype cycle's over. But
Will like what next, right? Like, so we've been talking about AI and just AI for a long time, but like it has been a little different from what it was, like, let's say 4 years ago, where everybody was like, oh, big data, oh, blockchain, oh my god, and just everything, everywhere I look, big data, blockchain. And now it's everywhere. It's like, but it has been a little different to the point that because you can write LinkedIn posts using ChatGPT or reply to emails which are terrible using GPT. And I think Sam
sure, it's
Altman
not
is
quite
one person to be blamed.
disrupting. It's not quite the disruption of the banking system we hope for. We get
Yeah.
quicker memes.
Yeah, that's all. Like, we don't even get quicker memes.
those are important.
Memes are very important. I don't think AI can ever make memes. AI can ruin memes. I don't think AI. It needs critical thinking to make memes.
Sorry, I got to
I
bring
think
this
that's
up.
one skill. If Apple ever wanted to probably, Justin, probably.
Yeah, Atlassian would have called it idea, but not for fear of getting sued, unfortunately.
Sure.
So, yeah, where do we go with this? Like, big swirling ideas, doom, gloom, disaster. Tell me, guys, how is it working for you in Atlassian? Like, how does it work?
It's not great. I'm like, again, I've been a critic in the early days. Like you, I've become much more softer on it because seeing the progress. So I was just having this conversation with somebody else the other day, that how an announcement at Summit, back in the days it was Summit, meant that a product will come out in 2 years. Now an announcement means next month you can play on it, probably in a EA or not GA, but like in a closed beta or something. So that has changed, and that I'm definitely inclined to believe is because of how companies like Atlassian are investing very heavily in AI. But like, it's still slower in terms of what the end product's actual goal is, because if we say the job for a Jira application or any enterprise software is to make work easy, it sometimes makes work complicated a 10 times more before it may make it easy for somebody else. For one person, it may make it easy, but for 10, 20 people, it will first make it 100 times more complicated be it compliance, be it data security, be it 10 other parameters that somebody else will have to jump a hoop for.
Okay. And so as a cynic, I've encountered more cynicism than most. And I'm not saying now I'm a believer. Like, I do very well being cynical and critical. I never loved Atlassian, and the world doesn't need all fanboys, by the way. I think your customers don't need you to love everything about Atlassian. If you're the best consultant or the best app vendor, you need to be very aware of the limitations of the system, right? And some of the biggest fanboys are like missing out on the important thing of like, I need to know your limitations. Mate, a good friend, if your good friend doesn't know your weakness, is he a good friend? So I'm very clear on like the limitations of AI. And the best criticism I've heard is when people say, oh yeah, this is spaghetti code and I can't work with it. And if you hand it to someone else, they won't be able to do anything with it. We'll get to a point though where I don't need to hand it over to a person. I'll hand it over to a person that's also using AI. And this is it with my friend who's a mentor. When I handed him my spaghetti code a few years ago, if I'd have coded it myself as a beginner coder and he'd had to go through it and be like, that doesn't make sense, that's wrong, that's inefficient. But now he just hands it to his AI that goes, tell me what's wrong with this code. And he uses his deeper understanding to be like, da, 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 da. So
okay. Yeah, I was going to say, is the AI going to be the first pass, like the QA, the triage, pointing out 70%, 50%, 80% of the big issues? Then a human who really knows it can pick out the little bits.
I hope, because at the moment it feels like we're the QA for the AI, and that's a sad position to be in, is that the AI is in charge and we're checking on its homework. Like, that's not fun. But that's, I think, just because we're so bleeding edge that's where we are.
All right, just nearing towards the end of the official time limit for the day, I would ask, what are you hopeful about to end on a lighter note, as Rob was saying, maybe something bright towards the end of the tunnel, Chris?
No, like there's what
or
I'm
was
hopeful
all
for.
of this just hopeful? And
there's
now
what I'm hopeful for,
cynical.
or there's ending on a lighter note. You can't have it both. Choose one. Because
okay,
what I'm hopeful for is the billionaires to be executed by guillotines. So, like, I don't know if that's the lighter note you were hoping for, but I think that gives humanity the best chance of progressing and surviving.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not a lighter note. Let's talk about something on a lighter note then.
Yeah. Especially right at the end, so when people watch the tail end, there's a little bit, oh yeah, I like that.
Oh, you can say anything at the end of a podcast. No one's listening at this point.
we've got 6 eyes watching. That's at least 3 people.
Fan club.
The one day that we have Chris, I forgot to add the vertical streak, by the way, Rob. That's why we have no people. And we didn't post on the community-led classes. This perfect day to have like least amount of audience in front of Chris.
You always got to do the vertical. That's where you get rando stepping in and asking if we're, coming out as a gay couple.
Cut this up in highlights and it'll do well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
On a positive note, look, the difference for me is for a long time, and look, AI is still that game, VC funded. But look, right now, if I wanted to start a new company, I would have to get a loan from someone and borrow some money and pay some developers, and a year later I might have a thing. And right now the distance between idea and execution is shorter than ever. Now, will I build an enterprise ready product ready to rock? God, no. But can I skip a lot of pitch meetings and giving a lot of equity points to a lot of bad people who really have no other qualities other than their parents are rich? Yes, I can skip that. And so there's hope. I hope that once the hype and the fluff is over, AI enables the next generation of developers to make something really quick without needing to give all the equity to a bunch of dickheads in Silicon Valley.
Nice.
If that's not positive, we have a different definition of positive.
No, that's lighter note. Yeah, we can call that lighter note. That's nice. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Chris.
Always fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Real
always fun talking to you. And thanks, Rob. It was a fun podcast. Are we on Spotify yet? You're supposed to push us to Spotify.
I've got my
I just
intern
put you on
it,
spot
okay?
again.
I'm working the podcast team really hard, but they're backed up with everything else I've got them on. So
Nice. That's all right. That's all right.
But yeah,
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week, same time. I think we are again doing this on Friday, but next week we might have more people because we will talk about more conformist episode to community-led classes, folks, where we talk about an Atlassian PM, where we'll talk about CSM and what it can do. Justin has a question.
Good question in the comments.
Chris?
Yes, there is. Let me find the exact day and plug it if possible, because that was amazing. So D&D was really fun. It was too long. So the next one we're going to do is going to be an hour long, we're aiming for. So much more watchable as a live stream. But thank you very much for everyone that gave their patience.
Awesome. Please post that link in the comments. Yeah.
The 26th of June. Let me share in the comments. How do I share it with you? If I share it with you, you can share it there.
Yeah.
Yep. Drop it in the private chat.
Drop it in the private chat.
I've shared it with you in LinkedIn, which is probably not the right place to do it, but there you go. Oh, in the private chat. There you go.
That's okay.
Done.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Here we go. Also, if you're listening on Spotify or when you're listening on Spotify, remember to like and subscribe and push the bell and all the fun YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube as well. And LinkedIn. I don't know where all we are. Or on Twitch also, right? We are now on Twitch also.
We are on Twitch.
Nice. All right.
Someone's commenting.
Thank you, everybody. Nice. Someone's come from Twitch. Corvus Jaquilus is Rob's persona.
Corvus Jaquilius is my logo, the little bird holding the quill. So thank you to Kythra, the real human artist who created it, not with AI.
Real human artist. Yes.
That's now an applaudable act. Thanks, everyone.
It is. See you guys. Bye.
Every week, they look at the tech and business world and turn let's take this offline into an episode. Updates, reviews, and the occasional interviews. Sounds smart? It's not. We just said it with conviction. A lot of smart people already do this. But these guys have a lot of opinions and barely any filters, which maybe should concern you or not. They seem nice. Anyway, this series comes from people who probably shouldn't be doing more streams, or at the very least, should have left some of their thoughts in a Slack thread. Unread by everyone. And now, this is Rob and Saj Asking for Trouble!